Now, the Ernst & Young, or the EY Entrepreneur of the Year, is coming up very shortly, this week actually. And we have, from a company based in Rossmuck, a finalist for this year's competition. That's Evelyn O'Toole. She's the founder and CEO of Complete Laboratory Solutions, and I have her on the line with me now. So, Evelyn, first of all, you're very, very welcome to Connemara Community Radio.
Thank you.
And was this a surprise that you've been shortlisted for the Entrepreneur of the Year?
So I guess it started after Christmas when I was invited to be in the competition by the local EY office. So EY would have opened an office in Galway City probably a few months beforehand. They're just short of a year, or just past a year now actually, opened. And they would have asked me to consider applying. So they told me they'd like to nominate me and put through an application, which they submitted for me. And then I learned I was a finalist on the 1st of May. I got a tip-off call. I was actually going to Philadelphia on a trade mission with Udros, and we were presenting to an Irish-American audience for work, basically looking for jobs over there. And when I got off the plane, I got a tip-off call to say that they were pretty sure I was in the final. So I was delighted.
I'm sure you were. I mean, it's a great, it's kind of a, what would you say? It's a great achievement to be even considered and to get shortlisted even more so.
It's a privilege.
A few little notes that I have been given here. That I mean, you started your business when you were only 25. Mm-hmm. Which is quite extraordinary. That you've built up a very successful business in the intervening years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm from Cushatraw, which is kind of the coast road to Cleggan, close to Omey Island, and I went to Clifton School, and I studied science thereafter, and I was 2.5 years working in Carna in a smoking plant down there, testing their final product before the consumer. And basically the plant burned down on a Saturday and I was made redundant. And during the course of 2.5 years working there, a lot of my colleagues would have complimented me that I was very good at what I did. I liked what I did, and I guess I was probably sad that I'd lost my job quite quickly, but it was equally sad that I knew my prospects for getting another one and being able to stay close to home was close to nil. And that was my motivation. I thought if I can create security for myself and create something that I can bring other scientists in Connemara and the rest of Ireland to work with me, I thought something has to change here, because I really liked where it's from, and I also wanted a good technical career. And I thought I can have a go at this and see can I have both. I had nothing to lose really. I didn't really have a business plan or what you call a smooth lead in, but I was 25. I wouldn't be prone to worrying. I've never been a worrier.
Probably would never have done it had you been a bit older.
Yeah. I can only see opportunity. I've never really seen things go wrong and not been able to manage it. So I had a Peugeot 205 van that was £62.50 per week on a repayment, and that was the most important thing that I needed to keep with me, because that made me reliable when I was meeting people. I could show up on time. Before that, I used to hitchhike, and I would always get there, but I could always just give you a plus or minus an hour. And so it was very basic. It was very simple. I just kind of looked prospective clients in the eye and said, will you give me work? I will provide you with really good quality testing, plus I'll break it down into really good support for you.
And this was in Rossmuck you started off, was it?
So I was employed in Carna. On the day of my going away party, I met a representative from Udaros, and I would have told them that I was setting up a company. I asked them, could they give me any support, and they said they could give me 2 employment grants. That was 5k each, and they'd also give me a room free of charge for a year in a centre called an Inn of Finter that was actually opening up in Rossmuck. So that's how I ended up in Rossmuck. Udaros offered me an enterprise centre unit there, and I went for it. And can I tell you, I had a great celebration on my going away party. I felt like I'd won the lotto. So it wasn't. I think sometimes people think, it must have been very stressful. It wasn't really. I think I was 6 years in business before I realised there's a bit more to this, and I have to.
I would have thought starting up a scientific business of all things, that the cost of equipment and so on would have been really, really high.
Well, the building that actually burned down was a smoking plant, and the laboratory was at the back end of it, and it was luckily a little building that was standalone, even though it was adjoined. And I had incubators in there, and while I was employed by Carol's, I minded all the equipment really well, and I kept the place really, really well, thankfully, because I ended up doing a deal with Carol's, and I rented the equipment first of all. And sadly, Carol's no longer exists, and actually they ended up owing me money, and I did a deal with them for the equipment over time. So that's how that worked. I was very lucky in that I was employed, I guess, by a kind company, and especially by kind, supportive colleagues. I had a really good experience in Carna. I actually really liked my colleagues there. And even when I actually started this, and I think this piece is most peculiar, I stayed with them 11 months after I was made redundant. I hung on where they were transferred over in Glensk, in Letterard, and they gave me the loan of a little room. And that's very unusual, and it just shows you in small ways, the small things make things possible when you've so little, because it was all so simple. And the centre that Udaros offered me wasn't available straight away because it was being built. And that was it. That was the beginning, and I guess. And
it's just been a success story really ever since. And you've grown and grown, and you now have a branch in Galway on the Tuam Road as well.
Yeah. So I guess the big breaks back in '94, people would have probably thought it was a bit mad, but I had thought we'll have oil off the west coast at some stage, and we'll also have the Water Framework Directive in Ireland. And both arrived eventually, and we won both of those. So they were significant wins which changed our financial base. And in 2003, we'd have gone through a stage where we'd have actually lost 2 of our red meat clients to an international company who tried to buy us out. And when we didn't go that route, they dipped their prices below our net prices, and we lost 50% of our turnover in 2 clients. So that for me was probably the biggest education I got, because my turnover dipped really quickly. And
that was when you learned just how cutthroat business can be.
Yeah. But it was, in hindsight, it was the best thing that happened, because I became a business person instead of a happy-go-lucky hippie version of a scientist. And then I put together a plan. I moved into the future and started making decisions. My management team began to make the day-to-day management of the labs their own, and I was removed from that. And we started planning for scalability. I started looking at Irish big brands that I wanted to work with, and multinationals, and I started working on those. And I wanted to move into the medical device and pharmaceutical area, just for sustainability, because we've come through BSE and foot and mouth and all kinds of scenarios when you're environmental and food only. And I just wanted it to be more stable. And our opportunity came in around 2007, 2008. We bought a competitor called Neptune Laboratories in Galway. We integrated their business, and then I opened a site, a sister site called CLS Med Pharma, that was dedicated to pharmaceutical and medical device testing only. And since then, we've got FDA approval for US testing, and we've got HEPRA for Irish and European. So we're the largest privately owned laboratory in the country now. We're also the most experienced Indigenous contract lab. So it just shows you if you reinvest long enough, things come through in the end. I've got 140 on my team, and those guys are CLS. It is they who make up the company. I'm just in the role of CEO, so I'm really their communications piece. The EY thing has given us a lot of opportunities on our profile. So despite our growth, our profile would still have been quite low, and EY has really pushed us up on that. So I think I've had about 10 speaking events. I was on B3 last night, if anyone didn't see it. Depending on the results this Thursday in City West, if we get silverware, you'll probably see us on BE3 again next Monday night.
Well, we'll be watching out for that.
Or if not, we'll be in the audience. We've had a pretty good time anyway.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing success story. And just one final question, because unfortunately I'm running out of time now. But did you see yourself when you were younger? Did you see yourself as being an entrepreneur, which you obviously are? Did you know you had these entrepreneurial skills?
I think probably looking back, it was probably always there. I know during Lent I used to sell the odd few sweets when I do Lent. So I think there was my brother's friends were probably my best customers, and at one stage I bought part of a cage of fish while I was working with Carol's just for something extra to do, and I'd have sold that privately. Bit by bit, pyramid style, giving everyone a cut and a good deal.
Right, yeah. So
and it
was always there.
So I think I like the exchange process. I like exchanging something for something else. It's not really. It might look like it's for money. It's actually not for money. It's the whole process. It's the whole sense of achievement, delivering something that people are happy with in exchange for something else. And so I think I probably would have ended up doing something. If I didn't set up my own company, I probably would have worked just as hard for somebody else. Because
I don't know. I think once you have that spark, which you obviously have, it's very hard to keep working for somebody else. But I do have to leave it there, Evelyn. I just want to say that I'm quite sure that all your family in Coushatta and all your friends and everybody here at Connemara Community Radio, and probably in the whole of Connemara, we're all very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
A fantastic achievement. I know you've worked very, very hard for it, because these things don't come without hard work. So I'm sure you've worked extremely hard, and it would be wonderful to see you getting recognition for that. I mean, you're getting rewards business-wise, but it would be nice to get recognition as well.
Thanks, Marion. Thanks an awful lot.
Thank you.